Bat family, and welcome to Holy BatCast, brought to you by real fans for real movies. You can visit our website, holybatcast.com, and find us all over social media as Holy BatCast. So Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast, you'll find us. If you're a big fan of the show and you want to support us, you can do that through Patreon. Go to patreon.com/holybatcast. And as always, big thank you to our patrons. You guys are the best. You're the coolest patrons in the podcasting game. Don't let anyone tell you different. The people who patronize other shows, they're very nice. I like them. They're great. They're not as good as our patrons. Our patrons are the best. So if that's you, just know you're best. Go to bed tonight feeling good about yourself, knowing that you rock. Okay. We're also part of the Real Fans Podcast Network. You can check out all those shows at rf4rm.com. And as always, I'm your Bat host, Andy DiGenova. You can find me on Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, and Letterboxd. It's always just my name, Andy DiGenova. Little boring, but easy to find. This episode, we are mostly going to be talking about the brand new trailer for Joker, Folie Deux. We said that was probably going to be the case last week. When we got the poster, we knew the trailer was only a couple days away, and now it's time to talk about it. A couple other little things I want to chat about, but we are also going to talk about the season finale of The Batman Season 2, the animated show. So that'll be fun. And then we'll see how much time we got left for emails. So joining me for this, he's back. You know him, you love him, but not as much as I love him. But you all love him more than my wife loves him, but there are other reasons for that. It's Brendan. Hi, Brendan.
Jealousy is a curse, my friend.
It is, the green-eyed monster.
How you going?
Yeah, I'm good. A little peek behind the curtain. I was a little late getting here, and it wasn't my fault, okay? And I'm not saying whose fault it was, but her name rhymes with Atherine, and she literally said, she goes, "I'm sorry I made you late." And I'm like, "It's fine." She goes, "Tell Brendan it's my revenge for the time he gets with you."
I thought that the name rhymed with barley.
Well, there was part of that too, but it's a much longer story than anyone cares to hear. The point is I was ready to come home earlier and we stayed out and things happen. So
you can hear my little turd in the background at the moment, actually.
Aren't toddlers fun?
Oh
my God. The best thing in the world, and then just a little nightmare. Also, you might have heard just another voice there. It is a special guest, someone who has been a patron and a big friend of the show. He sent us a very fun video for our 10th anniversary that I will share with Brendan and Jamie when the time comes. It's Richard Webster. Hey, Richard, welcome to Holy BatCast.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I'm literally shaking with excitement. This is awesome.
Well, don't get too excited. We're not that big a deal, but we're glad you're here.
Well, I know that intro with the patrons. I'm going to sleep really well tonight. Thank you for that.
See, that's all I could do. You know what? We don't tell people that they're awesome enough, and we try to change that here. So you're awesome, Richard. It is your first time on Holy BatCast, so you know what that means.
I know, and this is the part that kept me up last night. I was like,
"Oh, geez,
no,
you are going to sleep well tonight."
I am. That and my toddler, my little turd. So it was a combo. At least
we're all doing it together. That makes me feel just a little better. But anyway, yes. Tell us about your Batman fandom. I mean, your profile picture is you in a Batman suit. I can't tell if you're actually wearing it, or if you stuck your head on someone else wearing it.
That's actually my suit. Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. So you own your own Batman suit.
It is, yep.
And that's pretty cool.
You guys are partially to blame for that Batman suit. I loved Batman vs Superman. Okay, so long story short, I am gonna choose BVS as my favorite Batman movie.
Okay.
It's hard. It's difficult because in the theater, I didn't like that movie as much as I liked The Dark Knight, or like the anticipation and the whole event of it. Probably because of the weird bad press and all that junk you don't want to rehash here again over and over and over again. But and then my childhood, Batman '89, like the original movies and returns, like the excitement for those. It's so hard to, if I could just take a little from each, I probably could make the perfect Batman movie, or close to it.
Yeah.
But BVS is the closest. I can't wait for the next movie to knock that one down, because ready for even better. I just wanted to get better and better. I know the Batman did not do that for me, unfortunately, but
Hmm.
BVS, yeah, I saw that suit, and then I once I got the director's cut of that movie, I watched that over and over, and it just like it got better each time. And then I think I was stalking the movie. I was watching it so much, and then I came across your podcast around that time, and I was just I worked for FedEx at that time, and I was driving all the time and listening like to all your past episodes, and I saw the one with Richard Citrone, and I was like, "What is this?" Like, yes, I listened to that episode probably 5 times uh,
Wow.
since, yeah, and it's just him describing the suit, and I had uh, found like a maker, a knockoff, like that does like a really close, as you can see, like it looks really close to the original, very expensive, and I was like, oh, that's too much money, I can't do it. And every time I listen to that episode and Richard Citrone saying like, if you ever get a chance to put that suit on, I'm like, oh, I'm like, fine, I'm doing it, and I did it, and I loved it. I wore it to I live in New England. It's
Hmm.
newer than Old England. And I went, and I know you guys are huge like Halloween, well, especially uh, you. I don't know if Brendan is. I think you're coming onto the like whole Halloween season thing more, right? Am I right?
Yeah,
Or is
it's
it?
it's become more of a thing here in Australia the last probably 5 or 6 years, but also since I joined the Real Fans, like in Scare-a-thon and stuff, I've become a real horror nut as opposed to just casual fan. But I've always loved like the Halloween and Scream franchises and stuff. But yeah,
One of us. One
Oh
yeah.
of us.
man. So yeah, this last October, I was like, I have the suit. My son is finally old enough at that time that we could leave him for a night. It didn't go well, but we did it anyways. And we live close to Salem, Massachusetts. It's like the hub of Halloween. And we went to like the oldest hotel like party um, uh, with like everybody was done by like a Hollywood studio like um, makeup artist, and it was just insane. Everyone's costume, and I wore my bat suit. I couldn't walk like 2 feet without someone running down on the street to like grab a picture of me. I had little kids like crying and hugging me, and I was like, wow, that's okay. I'm not the real Batman, but yay, this is
That's
awesome.
fun though.
Yeah, so I love that suit. I love that look. It's too bad we didn't get to see how it all turns out, but I know, I don't know if that's something in the news, but I know he talks about finishing it all the time. So,
That's not
um,
no. That's I don't have anything new on that
oh,
front
okay.
to
He said
today.
something about he wouldn't, he's interested in like an animated version of finishing it recently.
Ah,
Like,
gotcha.
I think he likes, I think,
I
Zack
must have missed
Snyder,
that.
Zack
Yeah.
Snyder to be specific, but he
Got it.
likes to keep it in the public, like
Sure.
always.
Yeah.
So he'll throw something out there all the time, or give us a picture from a set or something every once in
Yeah.
a while. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've loved Batman most of my life. The Nolan films like invigorated my passion for Batman. My wife, she's a huge Batman fan. She loves the Batman animated series. So spoiler alert, I love it
Oh,
too.
all right. Nice.
I'm with Brendan. I was like so excited when Brendan was like really pushing for it. I was like, yeah, come on, listen to Brendan. This is a great show. It gets so good. And her favorite Batman movie, she wanted me to represent her, is probably Batman versus Robin, the animated movie. She likes the
Oh,
animated movies
okay.
better than the live action movies.
All right. Unexpected, but I appreciate
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, which is funny
Very
because she
cool.
never read comic books, so that's a good gauge for like someone who's not biased by comics that loves a comic version of the character. So it's all
Yeah,
good.
for sure. Very cool.
Well,
Awesome.
thank
Well,
you,
very cool. What's your wife's name?
Felicia, with an F.
Felicia. All right,
Yep.
Felicia. This one's out. This one goes out to you too. So glad that Richard represented your Batman taste as well. And I'm glad that you're both Batman fans because, you know, that's something that you'll have forever. I love
Seriously, yeah.
that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we are going to talk about some other stuff. Before we do that, I got to give a shout out, of course, to our pals over at Manscaped. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Did you guys know that one man every hour, every day is diagnosed with testicular cancer? In fact, testicular cancer is the most common form of cancer amongst men ages 15 to 35. With April being National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, our friends over at Manscaped have partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to help spread awareness for men's health and early cancer detection. Visit manscaped.com/TCS to learn how to check yourself for early signs of cancer. And as always, you can use the promo code BATSCAPED for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com if you're going to make any purchases while you're there. So this is, it's one of those things that not as much fun to talk about, but we do need to talk about it because the more people who take it seriously, check themselves, get themselves checked, the better off they are going to be in order to prevent anything further. So it is important that we talk about men's health issues, and it's nice that Manscaped is putting it out there in April for Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. So they're dedicating a lot of time and resources to supporting testicular cancer awareness, and we love that. And so not only do they make great products for male grooming, but they're also out there saving some balls as much as they can, which we love too. So check out all their stuff. But most importantly, if you are a man listening to this, go to manscaped.com/TCS and get their steps on how to check yourself just to make sure everything is where it needs to be and everything's good and there's nothing to be concerned about. So Manscaped is committed to raising awareness and giving support to fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer. So they'll be donating $50,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society. So help save lives and balls and go to manscaped.com/TCS. And again, if you're going to make any purchases, just use that promo code BATSCAPE to get your 20% off and your free shipping. So thank you to Manscaped and everybody out there. Stay safe, and it's as good a time as any to check things out and make sure that you're healthy and good to go. Okie dokie, let's move on to some more fun things. We are going to talk about the trailer for Joker Folie Deux, but there were two other little items that I thought were worth a mention before we do that. The first thing is last week was a big week with CinemaCon. And CinemaCon, for those of us who don't work in the theatrical exhibition industry, it's a little frustrating. It's kind of like a huge tease because these people are seeing so much cool stuff. It's like a Comic-Con that nobody's invited to.
It's just theater owners, right?
Yeah, it's like, exactly. It's like people who run like AMC and Cinemark and
That's
Regal and stuff. Yeah, which is great for them, but it's just crazy because it's like they're getting these Comic-Con presentations that no fans get to see. So all we get is like descriptions and little tidbits and little news, maybe a picture here and there. But yeah, it's just crazy where I'm like, man, like if you're a theater owner, this week is like Christmas for you. And for the rest of us, we're like, well, yeah, that does sound cool.
Joe standing outside McDonald's window.
No, there you go. So there was not much DC going on at CinemaCon. There's plenty of other things. And honestly, Variety did a great recap that I thoroughly enjoyed, just talking about what each studio brought, what looked very promising, what was maybe less exciting, things like that. And I read their review, which was really nice. But the one thing I wanted to mention is that even though Superman doesn't come out until 2025, Peter Safran was there to give a little bit of a Superman chat. They didn't show anything. They didn't show any footage. They didn't show any photos. All they did was they had the logo up on the screen and they talked about Superman. And the logo made the rounds. And it's the logo we've already seen. It's the logo that was in the picture that they shared. That's from the suit. It's the same logo that we saw on the little placards for the table reads. So it's the same logo, but it was up on the screen behind them. And I saw a lot of places go, oh my God, reveal of the Superman logo from the next movie. And then I saw quite a few people who were like, oh my God, this is the logo they went with. And I was like, did you guys miss it the first couple times we saw it? Because this is not new. Like it's the more art version than the photo, right? But I'm like, yeah, that's the same logo we've seen a couple times now. But I was very amused by the folks who were acting like it was the first time we were seeing it, or that we were shocked that this is what it looked like. But the one thing that they said that made me very happy and got me very excited is that they said, 2025 is going to be the year of Superman. And I just love the idea of that. I get so excited about that, of being like, they're going all in on Superman, as they should and as they have to. But I love the idea of it just being like, they plan to just take over everything with Superman next year. And I can't freaking wait. So it was just a tease, but it got me excited anyway, just to hear them go, yeah, next year's going to be the year of Superman. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm in for it. So Richard, I don't know. Oh, what's that?
I was gonna say, instead of 2025, the 25, maybe the 5 should be like the S.
Ooh, see, I'd be okay with that. So yeah, Richard, I don't know where you stand on Superman. I don't know if you're looking forward to the new version, but what are your thoughts?
I'm generally easily entertained. I like, I like a lot of bad movies. Just if they're
Don't we
entertaining and
all?
fun. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the 80s, so there was nothing but Van Damme movies and stuff like that. So this is like, I'm like, what? I remember the posters for like the Fantastic Four movie that never came out, and I was just like, yes. And it's horrible. It's a horrible, like, fake movie that really never was made. So Superman. I grew up on Superman. Christopher Reeve. I love the Brandon Routh movie. Um, I, it's gonna be so hard to like ever surpass Zack Snyder's like designs of like costumes and things. They're just so intricate. They're just so beautifully done. I could have been a little more color and popped, and I think it just with the tone of the movie that I get it. So this one, I'm excited for like a positive, vibe of Superman. Like this is Superman, year of Superman. That's cool. I can't wait. I'll be there, opening night.
Heck yeah.
I can't wait. You just gave me chills talking about that. So that's awesome.
Well, exactly. And I'm like, they didn't tell us anything, but just the idea, like some of my best memories of being a fan is like, of course, 1989. That summer was the summer of Batman, right?
Mm-hmm.
2002 was the summer of Spider-Man. That was magical. That was so freaking fun, right? 2012, the summer of the Avengers. Holy shit, was that fun. And like, I love it when there's like this one big superhero movie that like is the big game that year, and you can just go all in on it and just, immerse yourself in it. And it seems like that's what they're really going for with Superman next year, and I am here for it. Brendan,
he's the granddaddy of all superheroes. I mean,
indeed he is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, 2013 was, well, obviously not the summer for me, or the winter. 2013 was the season of Superman for me over here. Yeah. Same as it was in 2006. I really like when a new Superman movie's coming out. The first time I really experienced that was as a 22-year-old in 2006, because, I was too young too young period for most of the Reeve ones, and I was too young for the fourth one. So, it's only happened twice in my lifetime where I've really been able to, get excited and pumped up for a Superman film, and boy, was I excited in 2013.
Yeah.
So yeah, to experience that again, and I mean, I'm excited for this movie just for the cast alone. So yeah, of course, I mean, I'll be all in, and we'll be starved of DC stuff, when it rolls around. So
yeah,
I'll be there big time.
Again, it is a bummer that that's the only DC movie we're getting next year. But the silver lining is like, we can focus our excitement and our attention on that one movie. And there's something special about that too.
That's a good point.
Because I mean, like last year, we had 4 DC movies,
Yeah. You got to spread it out and then compare them.
And it was like, it's awesome, but like it's, in a way it was almost too much, because you're like, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, but then another one's coming right down the road. So it is kind of nice to like get the little break and then have something to look forward to. So I'm psyched about it. And James Gunn is working hard on Superman, but he's also working hard on something else. So we're recording this on Saturday evening. Today, on Saturday, James Gunn posts a photo on, I think it was on Threads and on Instagram, that they've started production on Peacemaker season 2. So I guess he's spending his weeks on Superman and his weekends on Peacemaker. God bless the guy. I hope he's got some rest built into his schedule because we all need it. But holy shit, I was like, and that's what dawned on me is I was like, oh, how cool. Peacemaker season 2 starting production. That's great. And I was like, wait a minute. It's Saturday. And remember how we were like, how's he going to do both? How's he going to do? I think we just figured it out. And I know he's handing over a lot of the directorial duties to other people that he trusts. And even Peacemaker season 1, he didn't direct all of them, did he?
No.
But I'm like, is that what he's going to do? Is he's going to freaking direct on the weekends for Peacemaker? Brother, I just hope he gets some rest. But regardless, it's exciting. And I think it's happening sooner than I expected. I don't know about anyone else, but I thought it would happen closer towards the end of the year or maybe towards the end of the Superman shoot. I think we even talked about that relatively recently. And so I'm surprised it's happening so soon, but I'm excited. Peacemaker season 1 was like such a nice surprise. And it's really great. And so I'm excited that season 2 is on its way. Cause again, that's going to help us. It's going to help feed us while we're waiting between movies. So, Brendan, Peacemaker season 2.
Yeah, again, I'm looking forward to it. Season 1, I mean, when they announced season 1, I think we were all kind of like, huh?
Yeah, it was like,
Really?
I guess I'll watch it. Like, that was literally how I felt. Is like, of all the characters from the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker is not the one I wanted to see more of. And
honestly, I've never been a big, like, wrestlers come actor fan. Like, it took me years to come around to The Rock. And then, you know, Cena, I was just like, whatever. And I thought he was fine in the Suicide Squad, but spending time with him in Peacemaker, I love that guy now as an actor. He's great. I mean, I even sat through Ricky Stenicki 2 weeks ago because of, and I mean, look, as a brainless turn your brain off comedy. It was entertaining, but he was what made that movie. He was so damn funny in it, and I love the guy now. So, yeah, give me more Cena as Peacemaker. I'm there every day of the week.
Yeah, cool. Richard, where do you stand?
I and that's funny because like Cena coming out of the wrestling into acting, I think he started with some like just straight out action movies. And I was not into it at all, really.
Yeah, straight to DVD ones.
Yeah, basically. And so I never thought he would amount to much. I think he is actually from New England, my neck of the woods, which is funny. And yeah, he is so funny. Literally that character that had me cracking up in the movie. I love the back and forth between him and Heimdall. Why can't I think of his name? Bloodsport.
Oh, Idris Elba?
Yeah, like
Bloodsport? Yeah.
They're back and forth. It's just so their competition.
Not
like,
death. Not Will Smith.
No, not Will Smith. Yeah, which I think actually worked better. Because he killed it. I thought it was great. I thought it was fun, and I love that show. It is hilarious. Yeah, it is almost like a turn your brain off, but they get you some episodes. You start thinking it's pretty great. So bring on season 2, please. I love all of it. It's great.
Very cool. Something to look forward to. I've got to add an addendum to something I said like 5 minutes ago before I get emails. When I said 2012 was the summer of the Avengers.
I thought it.
That's true. It was. But the second half of the summer was The Dark Knight Rises. So they had to share the summer. Okay.
I did think it, but I was like, no, I'll just let that one go through.
No, because I mean, the Avengers did make more money. But yes, that summer really felt like bisected. The first half of the summer was all about the Avengers, and the second half was all about Dark Knight Rises. So I realized it after it came out of my mouth, and I was like, I better say something. This is a Batman show. You guys give all the credit to the Avengers. I hate you guys. All right. So Peacemaker season 2, it's up and away. Exciting. But most exciting is that last week we got the first trailer for Joker Folie. And I talked about it last week with Ricky Garcia. We chatted about the poster and about the the upcoming trailer before we saw it, and we're like, God, it's just, I'm so curious as to see what this thing looks like. And then we did an episode of Real Fans last week of me, Hunter, and Preston talking about some of the films that we're looking forward to the most for the rest of the year. And we had talked about Joker Folie there. And we all agreed it's just, it was one of the most question mark movies where we're like, we've heard all these things. It's a musical and it's with Harley, but it's a sequel to the first. And God, what is this truly going to be like? And now we've got some answers, at least based on what we've seen from the first official trailer. So this came out just a few days ago and it got a lot of buzz. And so Joker Folie à Deux. What do you feel? How you feeling about the first trailer, Brendan?
I'll be honest. I'm still not like Jamie in terms of like don't believe it until there's a trailer because we've got a trailer. Even with the trailer, I still can't believe this movie is going to exist. I really enjoyed the first one. I mean, I've seen it, I think, a maximum of like 3 times. It's not one that you go back and revisit often because it's a hard watch. It's a kick in the guts kind of movie, and you don't often want to feel that way by choice. But it's a great film. It deserved all the accolades that it got. Phoenix deserved the Best Actor Oscar. I still wouldn't have been surprised if it had a won Best Picture, to be perfectly honest. That's how much I enjoyed the movie. I had no desire for a sequel. And I still kind of don't, but I'm like everyone, like the second they sort of announced Gaga as Harley Quinn, I'm like, okay, well, you've got me. Like my interest is peaked. Like I wouldn't say I'm a massive Gaga fan, but I appreciate what she does. She's brilliant at writing Earworm. She's got an amazing voice. I like her as an artist. And she's a great actress too, on top of that. You could argue that she is kind of like this generation's Madonna in that regard, like, out there with the fashion choices and things like that, and has the music career, but also has the acting chops to go with it. So she's what I'm really interested to see. The trailer, yes, it gave us an idea of the aesthetic, which to me seemed like a continuation of the first film, but obviously there's going to be these, like over the top musical numbers that are going to, they've got that real show business stage show vibe to them based on the little bit that we've seen. It doesn't answer any questions. Like I still have no idea what this movie's going to, like, what it's going to be about. I mean, obviously it's about Joker and Harley, but
I think it's about Joker and Harley falling in love.
Well, yeah, but aside from that, like,
I'm pretty sure that's the story. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's the story.
Wait, Harley's in this?
You know what I mean, though? We still don't know really what this movie is. So I'm going to be very intrigued. And I also announced too, I'm not sure if you mentioned it last week or even in the Real Fans, how it is going to be like, it's a jukebox musical.
Yeah.
So, what songs are going to be used, how they're going to be covered and stuff like that. Like, I'm very, very intrigued. It's not an excitement. It's an interest with this one, which is kind of how it was with the first Joker. Yeah, I was very curious rather than pumped up, counting down the days, buying merch and everything else. Like, it just, I'm very, very intrigued.
Oh, I just see it now. They play Poker Face. The Joker card is in the deck.
I'd be totally fine with that. Now I kind of want it. You said it, now I kind of want it. I heard they're just doing 15 different covers of Smash Mouth's All Star, which I think is a novel approach, I'd say.
Thanks for putting that in my head.
Anyway, Richard, what about you? Joker Folie, I do.
Yeah, if this was like the only Batman content, non-Batman, okay, Batman world content we were getting,
Adjacent, yeah.
yeah, if this was the only thing we were getting for a while, I would be a little bummed. I'd be like, yeah, I don't know what it is with DC and Sony and the side characters, the Penguin show, the Joker, like, like they don't like their main course. Like that's the money. That's, if you put Batman in, he doesn't even have to be the star of this movie, just in the world. Maybe he is. That would be a cool surprise, but yeah, just it automatically raises it. Like, hey,
I don't appreciate you likening the Joker to Madam Web. I don't appreciate your intent. I think that's a little unfair.
But no, this is a little raised above the Sony material, obviously. But
I'm just kidding.
No, you're actually spot on. It is a better quality. But I'm like Brendan. I wasn't asking for it. And I didn't see the first one in the theater because I was like, what is this? And I watched it and I'm like, that was a good story. That was interesting. It's, you know what? Just, give me more content. I'll, give me more takes to see what hits and sticks to the wall. This is interesting. I love Lady Gaga. I could tell maybe from the trailer, she's not treating the Joker. So maybe she's not a psychiatrist. She looks like she's part of Arkham.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that actually.
Yeah, so I'm excited to watch this at home unless I see something that makes me have to find a babysitter.
For sure. This is not a babysitter worthy film for you.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Not at this point. Maybe not, but it's one trailer. It could change.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about we all have toddlers, and so we all have now that same gauge that we have to deal with.
Yeah, is it babysitter worthy? Yeah.
Is it babysitter worthy? Well, I mean, I think we're all very close to the same page. I've still only seen the first one the one time in the theater. And I think it's good. Like, it's not that I don't think it's good. It just is not one that I've ever felt the need to go back and rewatch. I don't dislike it. And I certainly don't have, anything against it. It just was like, yeah, that was good. And I appreciated the craft in making it. It just didn't do it for me the way it did for everyone else. So, the irony is I thought it was a good movie and I've seen it once, and our dear friend Guy Milks hates it, but he watches it every 6 months, which I don't understand.
Yep.
Which I just
loves to hate it.
I love you, Guy. I hope you're listening, but I was like, why are you watching it again? You hate it. Why are you watching it? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, the first movie I think is a good movie. I just haven't gone back to it. I will be going back to it before I go see this movie, because after this trailer, I think this movie is definitely babysitter worthy. Ooh. Like you guys, I was not asking for a sequel, especially if they were never going to actually make it a Batman movie. If they were never going to have this Joker actually go up against Batman or try to, be the clown prince of crime, I didn't need a sequel. And then they announced Lady Gaga, and then they announced it would be a musical. And I was like, you bastards, you got me. You got me. And even so, leading up to it, I thought the poster was very beautiful. I was certainly intrigued, but it's not one, like you said, Brendan, where I'm counting down the days. I don't have the countdown calendar on my phone. But this was a great trailer. I thought it was stunning, and I was very impressed. And it's really interesting because you're right. I think you said it, Brendan. Half of it feels very much like the first film. In a good way. Like, it feels very consistent in tone and style with the first film. And so if you loved the style of the first film, you're going to love this one too. But then the other half of it are these very fantastical, old school, what I assume are dream sequences that are also musical numbers. And those are the pieces that I think really excite me. I'm a sucker for a musical. Y'all know this if you've ever listened to the Real Fans show. I'm a sucker for a musical. I'm also a sucker for the world of Batman. I'm a sucker for Lady Gaga. So all these are good things. And it looks like they're really having a lot of fun with the style in doing these musical numbers. Like, there's a great clip in the trailer where they're spinning around and they're dancing, and it looks like an old 1950s, like Singing in the Rain musical. And then it cuts to them in the real world spinning around like in this very harsh lighting in the middle of a street where it looks all grungy and gross. And just that like cut from one to the other, I think is the key to what this movie is going to be. Is you're seeing what's happening, quote unquote, in the real world, but then you're going to be cutting to these very crazy and stylistic, fantastical numbers. But I'm down for that. I think that's a lot of fun. And so, yeah, I think that visually it looks beautiful. I'm interested. And so I said it on the last episode, Brendan, the same thing you did. I am intrigued, and I was intrigued. But after this trailer, I'm like, I think I'm excited. I think I'm getting excited. And
go ahead. Sorry. No, I was going to say, one thing I did forget to mention is that last shot with the lipstick on the glass. Like, brilliant. Absolutely so brilliant.
So I was actually going to say that if you didn't say it. I was like, that last image is so cool. Because he didn't smile really throughout the trailer. And then that last one was just like, Joker.
Yep. It's actually, like you said, brilliant is a great word. It's so clever and creative. And it's like, how can you see that and not go, oh my God, that's, why didn't I think of that? You know, it's fantastic.
Mm.
I love the shot of them on top of Hotel Arkham dancing.
Oh.
Like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, oh my God, that's just gorgeous. And again, like, it looks intentionally fake, much like the sets did back in the, you know, in the 50s and of those musicals. And it has that style. And I'm like, God, that's just, it's gorgeous. And I love that there's just enough little pops of color here and there. I've also got to call myself out. On the last episode, we talked about the poster, and Ricky asked me, he goes, you think this one's going to make $1 billion? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know. And I was like, I'd be shocked if it made $1 billion like the first. After this trailer, I think I gotta step back and go, you know what? Now I think it might. Like, because not only is it a great trailer, I just saw so much buzz when this trailer dropped. And so I think there's a lot of excitement for it.
Well, it was the most watched WB trailer since Barbie.
Yeah, I did see that. So, yeah, I think that the interest and excitement is there, especially considering the talent involved. And then this trailer delivers on what you want, which is a continuation of the first film, if you loved that, but just enough added value with Gaga and these musical numbers that it also doesn't feel like a rehash.
Is it the same director?
Yeah.
Todd
Phillips.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I mean, I love his Will Ferrell movies.
I saw something. I don't know if it was a tweet or if someone I know said it. I don't even remember, but they were like, could you imagine going back to like 2004 and watching Road Trip and going, hey, guess what?
I think it was in the Real Fans episode. I think.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm having source amnesia. I don't remember who said it, so credit to whoever said it. But they were like, yeah, what if we told you in 2004, 20 years from now, this guy's going to make some Oscar-nominated Joker movies? It's like, yeah, who would have thought?
Tom Green as the Joker.
Yeah, I still reckon Old School is one of the best comedies of the early aughts. Yeah, it's such a good movie.
You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy.
But yeah, I mean, I just think like the cinematography and the performances. I mean, Lady Gaga didn't get her Oscar for A Star Is Born.
Oh, she's getting it for this.
I'm not saying she's getting an Oscar. I'm saying, but she might. Nominated. I'm saying she's going to get another shot. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just that like fingered gun to the head, expression that she does when he's walking by the hall.
Yeah,
that was really cool. Like she's so talented. I can't. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I just,
she's amazing, and I didn't want. I don't want to sound negative when Brendan's like she's kind of this, this generation's Madonna, and I'm like, yeah, but I feel like as far as acting, she's better than Madonna.
Oh, she's a better actress, absolutely.
Like, and again, no tea, no shade to Madonna. Madonna's a freaking legend, so nothing. But like, as far as acting goes, Gaga has just really just been amazing. That shot of her walking up the courtroom steps in the red jacket with the makeup on her eyes and the diamond, like I feel like we saw that look through like set photos or something, because I know I had seen her in that outfit, but that's just again, it's just a freaking stunning shot of her as this pop of red amongst this whole crowd where there's almost no other red, which I'm sure is intentional because she just pops in front of all of them. It's amazing. But I did want to talk about the thing you mentioned is that in this trailer, she is shown as another inmate at Arkham, not a psychiatrist. And so that was something that Catherine is disappointed in. She goes, "Oh, I'm bummed that, it seems like she's just another patient." And then they fall in love there instead of it being the more classic Harley Joker where she's treating him and then falls in love with him. And I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. So, Brendan, does it bug you? How do you feel?
In this world, couldn't care. Like, it absolutely makes no blip of difference to me, because in this world, I mean, nothing about the first movie is comics accurate or canon, or it is very much its own thing. So yeah, I honestly couldn't care less.
Well, then I'll just real quick and say, get out of my head, because that's exactly how
Yeah.
I feel. It's exactly how, because you're right. The first movie, almost none of it is from the comics. They completely did their own thing. And again, I think that's part of why I haven't gone back to it, is I'm like, it's a really good movie. I never feel like I'm watching The Joker, though. You know? And that's why I'm like, yeah, it's a good movie, but it's more just like this character drama about this mentally ill guy who wears clown makeup. But is he really the Joker? I don't think so. But hey, whatever they had to do to get people interested, I don't, I take nothing away from that because it worked. But because of that, they've already set that template. And I was like, yeah, that's what it is. So for this, I wouldn't expect it to follow what we would expect of a Harley Joker relationship. So for me, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Makes sense, because I already know that they're doing whatever the heck they want. Because guess what? Arthur Fleck doesn't exist. There's no Arthur Fleck in the comics, but he exists in this version. So they're doing what they want. And that's totally fine with me. Richard, what about you?
So the first movie, I think there was a lot of conversations like, well, maybe this isn't the Joker. Maybe he inspires that. No, it's the Joker. It's Harley Quinn. It's the Joker that answered that question. Like, I know Bruce Wayne was like a child in the first movie, so I don't know if he'll be in this, but Harley Quinn's origin story, we have it. We'll have it again in something else. Like that's fine. Like, this is obviously an Elseworlds type of story. It's not connected to James Gunn, not the Batman. It's its own thing. Let it be its own thing, and let's just enjoy what they come up with and see what it's like. And and I think however she gets there, this is the character of Harley. She's crazy. She's probably crazier than the Joker. So sometimes, yeah, I'm just, she's become a much stronger character than the Joker in pop culture. I love that.
I mean, and this is another big screen Harley, which means that maybe it's the movie I take my Harley to for her first movie theater experience.
I hope
you'd be a terrible parent not to, Andy.
Yeah, I think I have to now, right?
You're talking about your bike,
right? Do they do like babes in arms sessions and stuff at cinemas over there?
I've heard of it, but I've not seen it. Really,
I know it's something that one or two of the big chains do over here, where they have sessions, sort of like 10 o'clock in the morning, whatever, for
or you can bring your
parents
kids
and stuff, where you can bring the kids. Take her along to that.
See, perfect. I hope they do one for Joker. The other shot I wanted to call out, just because it was the shot that really, towards the beginning of the trailer, that really made me go, ooh, I like it. And it's when they're walking him through like the jail yard in the rain. And it's from above, and you get the 4 colored umbrellas. Yeah, which I thought was really stunning too. And again, and same thing with the first film. It's shot very beautifully and very stylistically, and this feels very much the same, which I love. Even the very first shot of looking at Arthur through the window, there's the little lens flare, but the lens flare is green and red, which is a nice little touch too. So, yeah, I mean, it's got style to spare, and I'm looking forward to it.
Did you guys ever see that? There's a comedian. He dresses up like the Christian Bale Batman, and he does these little skits. and he has one with this Joker, like this style Joker, and he's just dancing in the background. You have no
I
idea
don't
what I'm
think
saying,
so.
right?
I
No,
probably did
no.
back in the day. It sounds kind of familiar.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I'll send that video sometime. But yeah, it's pretty. It's funny. Yeah, there's the different styles of all these movies. It's interesting how every director's vision and different takes, and this is a different Joker for sure. And I expect a very different Harley than Margot Robbie.
You
Yeah,
saying
for
that,
sure.
Richard, they did remind me of my favorite sketch linked to the original movie when David Harbour did Grouch, like the
Oh,
hospital Grouch
that
on
was
Saturday Night Live.
amazing.
That was brilliant.
That was so
Oh,
good.
I love that. Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, the Joker Folie trailer is out there. It has been viewed many, many times. There is, like I said, there's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of hype. I the way I gauge it is like when I go on my Facebook and like people who never post about
Yeah.
superhero movies, when they post it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a thing, right? And so, and I saw quite a bit of that this week when this came out. Like, again, random people from my life who aren't really part of our little podcasting circle. I saw them sharing it going, oh my God, this looks great. And I was like, okay, well then they did their job. They got people excited. And so something
Andy,
to look forward to.
when does it come out?
October 4th.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna make $1 billion. Are you kidding me? October.
Well, there
That's
you
what
go.
the first one did, right? It's the
Yeah,
Halloween season.
it
Joker.
was.
Yeah, smart.
Yep,
So
same
smart.
time slot.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'm probably gonna end up going to this.
Yep.
Sorry, I changed my mind. It's in Halloween. It's a Joker.
We talked you into it.
October did, yeah. I was like, yep. Such a smart, like that.
All
That's so
right.
intelligent.
So October 4th, Joker Folie à Deux, a hell of a great first trailer. We still got a ways to go, so I'm sure we'll get another. But yeah, I think this one's going to make bank just like the first one. Excellent. All right. Well, those were the big news items for the week, unless there's anything I'm missing. But we also watched another episode of The Batman. So let's do that. Let's talk about the next animated episode of The Batman. And as I realized last week, this is the season finale for season 2. Didn't realize we had gotten that far, but here we are. Last time,
Woo-hoo!
I know. Last time we talked about Strange Minds, and so this time, this is season 2, episode 13, Night and the City. For some reason on Max, it still says season 1. Whatever. Weird. Doesn't matter. So Night and the City, this one was written by Stephen Melching. It was directed by Brandon Vietti. It aired on September 10th of 2005. So, as we kick off, the Joker is causing havoc in Gotham, as he likes to do. And it turns out the Penguin is also raising havoc in the same exact part of Gotham that the Joker is. So they get into it because Joker wants to claim this neighborhood for himself. Penguin said, nope, this is Penguin territory. They start getting into it. And then the Riddler steps in. He's like, y'all need to stop. We need to maybe have a little turf war. So whoever can take down the Bat and uncowl the Batman, they get the turf. So let's do it. 3-way war. Let's go for it. So you got Batman, Joker, and Penguin. No, Joker, Penguin, and Riddler going after Batman, trying to defeat him. To see who gets to claim Gotham. And so Batman's got his hands full. Detective Yin is aware of it. She calls Batman and gets caught. So now it has been revealed that she is working with Batman. We knew that, but the police didn't know that. And there's that grouchy police chief, Rojas, is it? Chief
Rojas,
Rojas?
yeah.
So he catches her, and so now she's on the run with Batman. We also get our first real introduction to Jim Gordon. He did have a cameo in an earlier episode. I don't even think he spoke. I think we just saw him in the flashback.
It was a flashback, yeah.
Yeah. It was a flashback when he is comforting young Bruce after the murder of his parents, but I don't think he spoke. And so now they're bringing Commissioner Gordon into the picture. And so we meet him. He is voiced by Mitch Pileggi. Do you guys remember him?
The voice is familiar, but I can't picture
I
the
think
actor.
X-Files was his big thing. But he also hosted like Magic's Greatest Secrets Revealed. Do you remember that? Remember that on Fox? No. Anyway, I watched all those.
I never heard of that.
But yeah, I think he was on X-Files. But he's the voice of Commissioner Gordon. And so you've got the cops after Batman, but also trying to stop Joker, Penguin, and Riddler. Batman's trying to stop Penguin, Joker, and Riddler with Yin in tow. They take the Batboat. They realize that they're all at this oil refinery out in the water where they have a big battle with Batman, Joker, Penguin, Riddler, and Yin helps out and they manage to take them down. And Rojas is like, well, your days are numbered. You're going to jail. And Commissioner Gordon's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why don't we slow down there, Skippy? She stopped these guys. She gets her badge back. And so she's still good. And then Commissioner Gordon debuts the bat signal. And he has his first meeting with Batman in this show on the rooftop of police headquarters. And they have a nice chat where it's like, we need to do this together. I have a daughter I need to keep safe. And Batman's like, great, for your daughter. So now we have a new partnership. We get a tease of Barbara Gordon. For now, Joker, Riddler, and Penguin are back behind bars. They won't be for long, because are they ever? So there's a lot happening in this episode, but it ends on a heck of a good note for the end of season 2. So, Richard, what did you think of Night and the City?
Oh, I love this episode. I love this so much. I love, instead of a team up, they have a competitive challenge, which I know none of them would actually adhere to if it actually happened. They would just double cross each other or go back on their word. But it's still cool. Instead of the classic team up, let's all team up and take down Batman. It's chaos. It's like, okay, everyone for themselves. The first one to unmask Batman wins, and everyone else has to leave town. It's cool. It's fun. I love Yen's kind of it almost feels like the journey comes to an end here, because you get she's back on the police force, but you get Jim Gordon now. So you kind of get he even has the line she's like, I thought it was your partner, and he's like, yeah, but you're not my sidekick. I had to do a Batman voice. And it's like, oh, she could have been a cool sidekick maybe, or turn into a character, but it's just
she could have become Katana.
Yeah, seriously. Well, yeah, with some training, right? But I loved how she got caught out on the rooftop and then he walks into a trap, and it's actually it's four again. It's the police and Joker, Penguin, and Riddler against everyone's after Batman.
Yeah.
I would have loved even a two-parter, make this even bigger and get more of the rogues and the police but yeah, I thought it was great. I love what's coming next. I love the bat signals all over Gotham City, and Yen saying I thought the Batman could use some good press for once.
I loved that. I loved how the Riddler had his question marks all over Gotham. Yeah. And when they stopped him, Yin changed it all to the bat signal. And she said, yeah, you could use some good press. I thought that was an awesome touch. It's
great. There's so many more things, but I'm going to pass it on so I don't say all the cool stuff, because there's just so much. The commissioner's so cool. I don't know the actor but his voice nails it. He seems a little bit younger than the BTAS series, but still old. But I love him rocking that trench coat, flowing in the wind, all kind of stoic. It's pretty cool. I like him. I can't wait. I know what's going to happen. I've seen this whole show so many times, but I'm a huge fan of the show. I like it. This and Batman the Animated Series are my favorite.
Awesome. Brendan, what did you think?
I think Richard might be a bigger fan of this show than I am.
I think you might be right.
Yes.
Because I couldn't really remember this episode, to be perfectly honest. In saying that, when I'd rewatch them, I'd kind of rewatch from season 3 onwards. But yeah, this was great. If my memory serves, I think this is the last we see of Yin.
I wondered that because it did feel like it might be the end for her, but
I think she makes an appearance.
Yeah, I guess we'll see when we move forward. But I did wonder if
because I know she isn't in it the whole way through. But I watching it, I was just like, I think this might be Yin's last appearance, and if it is, it's a bloody good one. Yeah, this was a really, really good episode. The 3 villains. I really like this version of the Riddler. I don't like the aesthetic. It's my second least favorite aesthetic for the Riddler. But
you don't like the garbage bag look?
Yeah, no. I love the characterization though. I think he's great. He's scary, and he really relies on the riddles. And there's at least one episode coming up. I can't remember what season it's in. With the Riddler, that's amazing. I can't wait for us to get to it. But yeah, this was really bloody good. And the bringing Gordon in, you can tell like it's sort of the changing of the guard, and things are going to be different moving forward. And I'm really excited to get into season 3 and the tease of Barbara, because I know where that's going. And yeah, bring it on.
I wonder where. I wonder why. Right? Why would you tease Barbara Gordon, and where could that lead? I don't know. I can't wait to find out. Oh, I'm going to jump ahead.
I mean, look, it was an original way they did it, though. I mean, it's no spoiler, but she has a whole season before Robin comes in. Batgirl is there first, and
what's the title of the next episode?
Is it?
Batgirl Begins.
Batgirl Begins.
Shit, spoiled.
So no, I really like this version of Barbara Batgirl too. So I'm all in for the next, what lies ahead of us in the future. But yeah, man, this was a great episode. I was because like I said, I couldn't remember it, and was pleasantly surprised.
Cool dialogue too between him and it was a short scene with Gordon, but like the whole. I do my best work in the shadows, and him being like, no, so you still do that, but with the whole good press and being in the light. I thought it was cool. I like that. And he, for a second, like when he said for my daughter, sorry, my accent came out, and he walks by him without saying anything. I was like, rude, that was, for a second, he just kind of walked by, didn't look at him. He looked angry, as Batman does, got on the ledge. And he's like, for your daughter, then. And then jumps off. And I was like, oh, chills. I love it. Okay.
I love when he said something about, I don't imagine you'll be a deputized member of the police department. Something like that. And I was like, oh, that was a great nod.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to go on a limb on this one. This is the best episode of the series we've gotten.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
And we've had some very good ones, so don't get me wrong. But I watched this, I was like, this has everything. I feel like Stefan on Saturday Night Live. This episode has everything. It has Batman. It has a Batboat. It has the Joker, the Penguin, the Riddler. We get to meet Commissioner Gordon. We get Detective Yin. It has everything. We even get a great moment with Alfred at the end. That was the one thing where I was like, oh, no Alfred in this episode. Nope, he's in the end. They get so much into 22 minutes. And the bat signal, we get the premiere of the bat signal. It's fantastic. It's a great Batman episode. And the 3 biggies, right, of the Rogues Gallery, all going after Batman. I love the setup of them being like, this is my town. No, this is my town. Well, guess what? Here's how we're going to settle it. Whoever takes down the bat. That is so perfect for them. All of them feel like equal foils to each other, which I love. I love them out there causing havoc. I love the police after Batman. Like, efficient storytelling, entertaining, fantastic characterizations, introducing enough new elements that's really going to set us up for season 3. This episode was awesome. I loved it.
Oh, that just made my night.
Yeah, I was like, do I have a single bad thing to say about it? And the only bad thing I can say about it is what you said, Richard, is, oh, it'd have been nice to have a 2-parter. But like, you didn't even need a 2-parter because I didn't feel like, at no point did I feel like it was rushed.
No.
But yeah, the 2-parter is the best complaint you can have, which is I just wanted more of it. But this is a terrific episode, an amazing season finale, and really sets things up in a really nice place. I loved it.
Yeah, it felt more true to their characters. I know the designs and all that stuff got kind of weird in the beginning of the show, but I feel like they're they're like, oh, let's just give them more the Batman, like actual what Batman is supposed to be.
It is almost like they were like, hey, we tried to do this different thing. We tried to have these 2 other cops. We didn't want to have a bat signal, so we had the bat wave. So we tried these different things, and here they're like, you know what? Maybe people just like the real thing. Maybe people just want the bat signal. Maybe that's okay. Maybe people want Commissioner Gordon. And so let's just do that. And it's like, yes, let's do that. I love those things.
And I've said it before, that's why I was really pushing for this, because I know, and I get it. I know people would bump up against that first chunk of episodes and they never came back to it. And it's like, no, you need to trust me. It gets so damn good. And we're there. I can't wait.
Well, and when we talked to the Mercados 2 episodes ago, Brendan, Kaylee even asked, she's like, I liked this one that we watched. Should I go back to the beginning? And we were like, yeah, honestly, season 1 is kind of rough. And so watch like the season finale of season 1, and then season 2 has been pretty damn good. And then it ends the best. And yeah, I think then you're in business.
Yeah, exactly.
The best part of season 1 or the beginning of this at all is the beginning of Batman, him in the Batcave, creating tools, upgrading the Batmobile, like all of the Batman and him and Alfred, that storyline, and the police, like him not being viewed as like a villain of Gotham, as a wanted criminal versus being like the Batman we all know. That is the best part of the beginning of the show. Everything else gets a little weird, and I understand, you guys talked about it before about trying to just be different than, a classic show like Batman the Animated Series. So
yeah.
But that's the best that you could take from the beginning of this, and now, like Brendan said, it gets running, like it finds its footing, and it just runs with it.
And I think one thing, Richard, you'll probably back me up on too, where at some point very soon we're going to get introduced to who I think is the best villain of the series, and that's Black Mask.
Mm-hmm.
Black Mask in this show is kick-ass. He's really good.
I forgot about that, so something to look forward to.
Yeah, that's such a good episode. I know I can't say anything about it.
Voiced by what was the dude's name from the Phantom? Andy, the
Billy Zane?
No, the guy who
Treat
killed
Williams.
No, the other guy, the guy who killed the Phantom's dad.
Like James Remar.
Yes, he voices Black Mask.
Jeez, making me go through the whole cast.
Sorry,
Christy Swanson, Catherine Zeta-Jones. James Remar.
Yeah,
it's like you got IMDb just built into your head.
Most times,
I knew that you'd know. I was blanking. But I knew you'd know.
All right. Well, things to look forward to. Okay, letter grades for Night and the City. Richard,
that's an A+. Easy. A+.
Brendan,
A.
All right, I'm going A+. I am.
Ooh.
Because I know there's some A+ episodes coming that I did like better than this one. So,
all right. Well,
then A++.
There you go.
True.
All right, folks. If you're not watching along, but you are still nicely listening, God bless you. But watch this one. It's just a great Batman episode. I think y'all will dig it. So definitely worth your time. And that means we're going to finally jump to season 3. Batgirl Begins. And that's a 2-parter. Away we go.
I wonder where they got inspired for that title.
I think they just made it up.
Yeah.
Probably the same ones that did Batgirl Returns from Batman the Animated Series.
Oh. All right. We got a few minutes, so that means we can check in with you, fine feathered finks. Let's crack open the Wayne Manor mailbox. It's time again for the Wayne Manor mailbox.
You've got mail.
What is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger. This is all, Master Wayne.
All right. I only got a couple, but they're long ones. So I might have to do some real-time editing as I'm reading through. Don't get too hurt about it, but you write me a novel, I got no other choice. What else am I going to do? All right, so here we go. This first one comes from Mark Bickford. It says, congratulations on your 10th anniversary. I thought about getting you a Michael Uslan cameo, which you would hopefully record an intro like, I'm Michael Uslan, yada, yada. Welcome to the 10th anniversary of Holy BatCast. But I didn't. I do get the boundaries, and it's not up to fans to throw production bits at you, but mainly it's because I'm cheap and lazy. It's pretty funny. I also have to admit, when reading my last email and it was interrupted by Harley coming in to say hi, I had two thoughts. My first was, if you named her after Harley Quinn and are surprised that she's an agent of chaos, that's on you. Second, my letter being interrupted by her, cue the Wayne's World clip of I'm not worthy. A couple of responses to recent questions regarding the Batman character I would drop into another world. I would drop Damian off with Scrappy Doo so the two of them could annoy the shit out of each other.
I like that.
And then hopefully David Zaslav would use his powers for good instead of evil and cancel the whole thing for a tax write-off. The other question is a story I would use to make a trilogy. I would go with Nightfall. Not the weak version from The Dark Knight Rises, but the whole thing. A Max series to cover Sword of Azrael. Then the first movie where Bane breaks out all the villains, and it ends with breaking Batman's back. Then another Max miniseries covering Vengeance of Bane and giving his backstory. Then a second movie that's Night Quest, that's 75% Asbats and 25% Bruce recovering, ending with Azrael killing a villain and Bruce deciding it's time to come home. Then the third film is Night's End, when he takes the title of Batman back from Azrael. All right, that's fun. And then finally, some questions. Do you know if the old appearances you did with Sean Gerber on his shows back around the BVS time are around anywhere? So far as I can tell, Modern Myth Media is totally vanished, and I'd love to listen to the breakdown of one of the trailers you did with him, and also the episode you did after seeing the movie. In your mind, where do you imagine Bloodhaven to be in relation to Gotham? For instance, if we picture New York City as Gotham, is Bloodhaven just across the river like Newark, New Jersey? Or is it further away but still within Gotham's orbit, like New Haven, Connecticut? Or is it way off in its own world like Buffalo? Personally, I tend to waver between Newark and the New Haven ideas. And 3, what comics image have you seen that struck you the most? A panel, a page, or a 2-page spread? It's probably the one that comes immediately to mind when reading the question. For me, it was actually from the first comics back in 1990. They'd gotten the license to Classics Illustrated. They were producing them as high-quality, square-bound books, and they did an adaptation of Moby Dick that was fully painted by Bill Sienkiewicz. Midway through, there's a 2-page spread of Moby Dick breaking the surface, and it's probably the single most powerful image I've ever seen in a comic. So have a great week, and remember, Buffalo, 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 Mark. All right. Thanks, Mark. And again, I'm sorry I had to do a little editing, but that was the short version. So thank you, Mark. Lots of good stuff in here. I'm glad you enjoyed when Harley interrupted your last email. That was so cute. Okay, questions. Old appearances with Sean Gerber. I did see this in advance, and I went and searched to see if those old episodes are still available, and they are not. So when Sean and I reviewed BVS, I want to say it was on Batman News.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Batman News podcast is still available, but there's only 2 episodes that are up. And we did way more than 2. And I think they were 2 with Sean and Mark Hughes. So, yep, those do not seem to be available, unfortunately. I'll have to ask Sean why not. I have no idea if he even knows. It could just be because we were doing it for Batman News. And when that show stopped happening, they might just not have wanted to continue paying the hosting or something. I don't know. I'm just making a guess. But long story short, no, I don't think those episodes are anywhere. Where do you think Bloodhaven is in relation to Gotham? Brendan? Give us 2 Australian examples that will mean nothing to us.
Brisbane to Toowoomba.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Actually, maybe even Brisbane to the Gold Coast. Sort of like a 50 minutes to depending on what part of Brisbane you're in, like 50 minutes to an hour and a half drive.
Okay. Richard, thoughts?
I'll say it's a drive, definitely a drive. So, anywhere. I like the Jersey reference as far as New York, Jersey type of. I'll go with that. I think it's a drive.
Okay.
That's where Nightwing, right? That's
correct.
Yeah. So he on his motorcycle and hitting Gotham all the time. So it can't be like
it's a drive, but not too far that they can't get to each other quickly for a
Yeah. I always thought it was like a 2-hour drive on Nightwing's bike. So, however, whatever's 2 hours away from your city of choice, I always thought it was far enough away that Dick had some independence and, could build his own life there, but close enough to Brendan's point that if there's trouble in Gotham in a couple hours, Nightwing was there. So, yeah, I always considered it about 2 hours away. And then a comics image that has stayed with you over the years, something that really jumps out to you. Richard, anything that you can think of?
Like a comic, like a panel, or
like any piece of artwork that you saw in a comic book over the years that just really has stayed with you.
I guess the 2 would be Bane breaking Batman's back.
Okay, yeah.
And Lois holding Superman after
Doomsday. Yeah.
Those, as a teenager, I was, definitely.
Awesome.
Definitely stuck with me, so.
Cool. Brendan, what about you?
This is a weird pull, but there's a page in Kevin Smith's Batman, The Widening Gaia, or Jaya, whatever it is. I think it's Zaz. I can't remember. I haven't seen it for a long time, but it's like a full page shot, and like he kind of looks like Gollum in it. And it's a really grotesque photo or illustration, I should say. And I can still remember the first time I read that comic. I was lying in bed and Jess was asleep beside me, like she was on my shoulder, facing into me. And I had the comic open on that page as she kind of stirred and opened her eyes. And it was the first thing that she saw, and she shit herself. Like, she woke up with the biggest fright. And it's this like really grotesque, like I said, I think from memory it's Zaz.
Okay.
But it's and it is like, it's grotesque, but I will never forget that because it's the first thing she saw. And I, from memory too, there's a really great, because they use the 89 Batmobile in that comic.
Oh, nice.
A really great shot of the 89 Batmobile too.
Nice. Yeah, I've never read that one, so
I
guess
have to look
one of
that
these
up.
days. Yeah. I have 2 that jump to mind, and one is one that I have certainly talked about in the past, and that is the reveal of Tim Drake's Robin suit back in Batman, I think it's 457. Like, I have a high-res version of that 2-page spread that it like rotates through my wallpaper on my desktop because I love it so much. Of him stepping out in that costume, and he says the new Robin, he looks amazing. That one of the very best. The other one is also Tim Drake related, and it is the shot of Batman holding Tim Drake as Tim Drake weeps from Identity Crisis. It is one of the most heartbreaking images of Batman and Tim Drake that has ever been drawn, and it's freaking amazing. So I've said it 100 times. If you've never read Identity Crisis, you need to. It's a masterpiece, and that segment, and then that finale of Batman just holding Tim is just amazing.
Nice.
All right, let's move on to the next email here. This one is from Matthew Carey. It says, hey, sorry I'm late to the party, but life got in the way. I wanted to say congrats on 10 years and over 400 episodes. Thank you for all the content and all the great reviews, opinions, and just being the best place for any and all Batman content. Here's to however many more episodes and years you have in you. As I've been re-listening to the latest episodes, I noticed a lot of listeners and even some of you have been going back and rewatching old TV shows. It reminded me of something I wanted to share, and I wanted to get your thoughts. A while back, I was watching one of my comfort shows, Star Trek: The Next Generation. I commented that Brent Spiner would have been a great Joker back then. My wife agreed, and we wound up casting the entire crew of the Enterprise as Batman characters. So he's got Brent Spiner as the Joker, Jonathan Frakes as Batman, Patrick Stewart as Alfred, Will Wheaton as Robin, Gates McFadden as Poison Ivy, Marina Sirtis as Catwoman, Michael Dorn as Two-Face, LeVar Burton as Lucius Fox, Denise Crosby as Harley Quinn, and John Delancey as the Riddler. I'm sure there are other recurring cast members, but those are the ones we thought of. But since I know how much you love these spur-of-the-moment fan castings, are there any shows or movies where you would take the cast and put them in Batman roles? Like, what if Mark Hamill was never the Joker, but wound up as Robin to Harrison Ford's Batman back in 1977? Just kind of fun to think about what might have been. Again, thanks for everything you do, Matt. Thank you, Matt. And first of all, your next gen casting is, I think, spot on. I think you pretty much nailed it. I don't know if there's anything you could even change. I think that's great. But I guess the question is another show where you could just take the cast and make them Batman characters. Brendan?
Betty White as Harley Quinn.
Oh, I love it.
B. Arthur as Batwoman.
Hell yeah.
Rue McClanahan as Catwoman. And Estelle Getty as Martha Wayne? I don't know.
I like it.
And Herb Edelman as Batman.
Oh my God. Good for you. Richard.
Actually, you could even keep Cesar Romero as the Joker in that because he
did. Oh my God. It was Estelle Getty he slept with, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Richard, any show that you can think of where you could?
If I had more time.
I know. I'm literally. I got nothing.
That's a fun episode idea, but I'm gonna go. And this is a tough one because I'm trying to think who makes the best Batman out of this weird cast, but I guess I'll go. I'm gonna go. Tom Selleck as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do Matthew Perry as the Joker. David Schwimmer as the Riddler. Commissioner Gordon will be Monica's dad's.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yep. Monica would be Selena Kyle. Harley Quinn would be Phoebe. And Jennifer Aniston as Vicky Vale.
All right.
When you said Tom Selleck, I'm like, this is either going to be Friends or Magnum PI. Where are we going?
Yeah.
I was like, maybe an older Batman. Because which one of the three main actors could be Batman? None of them.
Yeah.
Well, one of them, they did wear Batman's suit, don't forget. The tuxes that they rented. Was it?
Oh, no, it was at first sight. He thought it was a Batman tux.
Okay.
That's right.
And it's like, no, it was a chick flick.
All right. Well, I'm just going to have to go with one of my favorite shows of all time. Pull a Brendan. I am going Brady Bunch.
Well, Alfred's pretty much.
So Alex is Alfred. Alice is Alfred.
I was like, who's Alice?
Alice is Alfred.
All right.
I don't mind gender swapping.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah, Robert Reed, Mike Brady's Batman. And let's make Carol Brady Florence Henderson, she will be Silver St. Cloud
Nice.
because they're gonna stay together. I am gonna say Greg Brady, Barry Williams. He is Harvey Dent, Two-Face.
Ooh, that's good.
Peter Brady is the Joker because he was always the prankster, Christopher Knight. Bobby Brady is the Penguin because he's just a little annoying bastard. Marsha Brady, Poison Ivy, because who could resist Marsha Brady? Honestly, nobody. Jan Brady, because she's crazy. She's Harley Quinn.
And loves Marsha, or is obsessed with her.
Yes. And Cindy Brady is Baby Doll.
You forgot one.
Who did I forget?
Tiger is Ace the Bat Hound.
Oh, perfect. So I guess Florence could also just be Catwoman because I realized they didn't do a Catwoman. So I could make Florence Catwoman too. That's fine. Yeah, I'm going with that. So there you go. There's your Brady Bunch Batman crossover that you never knew you wanted until just now.
I would watch all of these. Just really sad.
These are all animated movies just waiting to happen.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more email here. It's from David Wang. It says, just a few things to go into my 10-year message. Number one, I agree that Alexander Skarsgård would make a good Aquaman in the new DCU. I had seen him in Tarzan in 2016, and I loved him. Even if he is looking a little older, that could actually work to the advantage because he could be a pre-established King Arthur already married to Mera and having a son. 2, I loved the Batman 1986 screenplay episode. I suppose a better way to ease in with Dick Grayson without only introducing him at the end would be to introduce him as part of Bruce and Vicky's date. First, they have dinner at Wayne Manor and then a show at the circus and sort of subvert expectations by not having the Grayson parents die until the parade later on. Number 3, so does this mean that in the first draft, it wasn't a Jack Napier who killed the Waynes? Thank you and congratulations for 10 years of the podcast. I don't think I disclosed this anywhere, but the first episode was posted on Libsyn on February 10th. That's my 23rd birthday. A lot of changes have happened in my life since those 10 years. Oh, sometimes I can even remember where I was when I listened to certain episodes. For example, I listened to the Under the Red Hood as I ate KFC in a large mall. I started in 2015. I remember being current with the BVS trailer episodes, and I've been a fan ever since, and I made sure to catch up with all your old episodes. Thank you for the hard work. That is the commentary episodes, and I'm looking forward to The Dark Knight Returns. A lot has been said by others about how they appreciate how you conduct your show. I'm choosing to echo what was said. In the latter half of Oppenheimer, where the 3 alumni of The Dark Knight Rises show up and say no board in this country should sit in judgment of a man because he expressed strong and honest opinions. If you want to try that case, you should try me. Excuse me, gentlemen, if I become stirred, but I am. You've repeatedly expressed gratitude on how much your show has been appreciated, seemingly without having to try too hard. Well, let me tell you a big factor in your success. Your strong and honest opinions are, to my observation, never with factual mistakes, or any errors in memory are quickly amended later, sometimes with the help of listeners. Now you're probably like, but that's so easy to achieve. Yes, but only because the hosts and various guests only strive to be truly honest. It's far from just the arbitrator of the greatest Batman villains debate. Hi, Michael, who only makes conclusions out of actually existing stuff. When you loved BVS Against the Flow, you just built upon from what's in the movie where so many of the detractors had to make stuff up. It's not enough to feel, even if they're still quantifiably incorrect, that Henry Cavill smiles less than Christopher Reeves. No, he has to never smile when it's Zack Snyder's Superman. And when you liked the Batman a lot less than other listeners, you didn't add stuff that didn't exist in the movie. No, you had points that you needed to feel iffy about that are actually from the movie. That's how you stayed effortlessly honest, and I love you for that. Sincerely, David W. All right, David, thank you so much for the message. And the first couple points, I'm glad you also think Alexander Skarsgård could be a good Arthur. I'm still standing by that. I actually really like your idea about the introducing the Graysons earlier in Batman 89 as part of the date. I think that could have been pretty good. And then, yes, I thought we mentioned it, but no, Jack Napier does not kill the Waynes in the draft that we reviewed. So all good points. And thank you again for all the kind words about our 10 years. I certainly appreciate everything that you said here. It means a lot. We try to be honest, and I also, try to own it if I'm wrong. I can usually admit it if I'm wrong. And so I try, so don't always succeed, but I do what I can. And so I appreciate the observation and you saying that. So that means a lot. Yeah, I guess the other thing I'll say is that what you mentioned about knowing where you were when you listen to certain episodes, I do that too with podcasts I listen to, where I'm like, oh
Same.
yeah, I remember that conversation. I was shopping in Target. Oh, I remember that conversation. I was in traffic, or totally. So anyway, there's not any questions here, just a lot of comments. But thank you for writing in, David, and again, thank you for all the kind words about 10 years of Holy BatCast. Appreciate it. Brendan, anything to add?
No, just thank you for the kind words.
I thank you guys for helping me go to the bathroom many times. Some memorable movements. But
wow.
I mean, you're there for a while. You need to listen to something.
What a compliment.
It is so weird I have written you guys like a few times and then just deleted it because it's so hard to describe. Like you're just doing a fun show talking about one of your favorite pieces of entertainment in Batman, like your favorite character. You created like this whole little community of listeners who just get to escape, their day, everything else going on, and just fall into Batman. And you guys do that for me. And that happens during life, and we all have things going on in our lives. There's ups, there's downs, but you guys are always there. And yeah, it's so hard to say how to say thank you, for just doing something you love doing. But you guys are honest. You're respectful. I think that's another key ingredient. You really respect other people's, visions or feelings about this entertainment that we all like share. The Batman, like that it's a good movie, but it's not everyone's favorite, and it wasn't your favorite version of Batman, but you respect that it is for some people, and that really comes out in your show. There's a lot of other podcasts that I won't name any, but that will just dog on something they don't like, not knowing that it might be someone's favorite thing, and they just turn the podcast off, or they just write angry emails, and because they're so passionate about like the thing that made them escape the terrible thing going on in their life, or just something they really enjoyed and passionate about. So yeah, you guys are so good. Thank you so much for all of it. I second everything that email said and more. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I certainly wasn't fishing, but I really do appreciate that. That does mean a lot. And yeah, it was nice of you to share that and put yourself out there. And you can always email us. Mailbox is always open. Sometimes it takes a few episodes to get to it, but it's always open.
I was like, I had to follow up the whole bathroom listening to you guys with something nice.
I think I've said this before. Like there was a time where I was like really backed up on podcasts, and I was like, okay, I'm going to listen in the shower. And I was like, no, this is too weird. I can't do it. I can't.
Oh, really? I listen to podcasts in the shower all the time.
All the time.
No,
yeah.
I couldn't. I did give it a try, but I was like, no, I just feel like I'm showering with people, with strangers.
That's the excitement though, Andy.
Fair enough. Listen, I ain't gonna yuck your yum. Okay. Awesome. All right.
You and I have showered together many, many times, my friend.
Ooh. Extra lather, please. Anyway, we're closing the mailbox. If you do have something for the Wayne Manor mailbox, you can send that to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. But that's where we're going to wrap up this episode. So thank you guys for joining. Brendan, great to have you back. I always miss you when you're gone, but it's good to have you here.
Oh, thank you.
What do you up to?
I will let you know now. The next 2 weekends I will be unavailable as well. Next weekend I'll be on a holiday, our first proper family holiday since Henry was born. The following weekend is Henry's birthday, so I will be unavailable. But yeah,
You can't sneak away on holiday for 2 hours to talk to me.
No, I'm going to be enjoying our absolute beachfront apartment and kicking back and having a great relaxing time. So yeah, I'm sure I will return shortly after that though, and we can talk some more crap like we do together. And yeah,
Okay, great. Anywhere that people should find you, or does it
just
matter?
real fans groups on Facebook and things like that. Like I said, very rarely on X anymore. So yeah, real fans on Facebook's the main place.
Yeah, and here when I can tear you away from your wife.
Yeah, obviously.
Awesome. Richard, thank you for making the time for us this evening. It was great to finally get to chat with you, not through email. So, yeah, it was a pleasure having you. And if there's anything you want to plug or places people can find you, see pictures of your Batman suit, all those good things.
Sure, yeah. Bat of Manchester on Instagram. You should be able to see lots of me in the costume. And thank you. Yeah, this was awesome. Dream come true, really. I'm such a huge fanboy. So I'm wearing the T-shirt I got in the mail right now for Holy BatCast. So
I'm just glad you kept your wife's hands off it, because you warned me she might try to steal it.
Yeah, yes.
I didn't realize you're Bat of Manchester. I've been following you for a while.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, yeah, Manchester. That's New Hampshire, where I am from. Not from, but where I live currently. I'm from Rhode Island. I don't know if you've ever. It's not a real island.
All right,
But
cool. Thank you, Richard. And thank you everybody out there for joining us as always. Thanks for streaming or downloading the show. And if you want to make sure you subscribe or follow the show wherever you get your podcast, that would be great, so you never miss an episode. Visit holybatcast.com or find Holy BatCast on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, and is that it? YouTube. That's the other one. Just Holy BatCast, all those places. If you got something for the Wayne Manor mailbox, that email address again is holybatcast@rf4rm.com. Our theme music was created by the talented Gaurav Venkateswar. You can find his work at gvtunes.com. And don't forget to check out our sponsors over at manscaped.com. Do a little shopping. If you're going to make a purchase, just use that promo code BATSCAPED. You'll save 20% off, you'll get free shipping, and you'll be helping us out in the process. We would love that. But that'll do it. Thanks for joining us. On behalf of Richard and Brendan, I've been Andy. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Holy BatCast is not affiliated with Warner Brothers or DC Entertainment. The views and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for. And 3 whole minutes to spare, Brendan. How do you like them apples?
That's all right.
Wow.
I can have sex twice.
Oh no.
Poor Jess.